Throughout the annals of history, names hold power. Some names inspire hope, others command respect, and a rare few invoke nothing but terror. One such name is Samael, a figure whose very existence challenges the boundaries between good and evil. Some call him the angel of death, the poison of God, the adversary and the great accuser. In the celestial courts, he is feared and revered, while among mortals his name is whispered with dread. But who is Samael truly? A divine enforcer, a rebel, or something far beyond mortal comprehension? To understand him, we must travel beyond the pages of ancient texts, beyond the doctrines of faith, and into the murky depths where angels and demons walk the same path. The duality of Samael, an angel and a destroyer. Unlike the fallen angel Lucifer, Samael was never cast from heaven. Instead, he occupies a paradoxical role in the divine order, a servant of God whose duties often bring suffering, a being of darkness who executes divine will. He is both an angel and an adversary, a judge and an executioner. In Jewish tradition, Samael is often identified as the angel of death, a being whose touch means the end of mortal existence. He is not merely a bringer of death, but its very embodiment. Yet, despite his destructive nature, he remains bound to the will of the Almighty. Unlike Satan, who actively rebels against God, Samael serves a purpose. He tempts, he punishes, but he never strays beyond the limits set by his Creator. This distinction makes him one of the most enigmatic and dangerous figures in all of religious lore. He is not merely a force of evil. He is necessity incarnate, a tool of divine justice that humans have learned to fear but cannot escape. Samael's role in the fall of humanity. The story of Adam and Eve is known to many, but what if the serpent in the Garden of Eden was not just a simple deceiver? Some ancient Jewish texts suggest that the true mastermind behind humanity's first sin was none other than Samael himself. One legend tells that Samael did not merely whisper to Eve, he seduced her. He took the form of a radiant being, using his beauty and cunning words to plant the seed of temptation. And when she finally bit into forbidden fruit, it was not only knowledge she gained, but a deeper connection to Samael himself. Some texts even go as far as to say that Cain, the first murderer, was the son of Eve and Samael a bloodline cursed from its very inception. If this is true, then Samael's influence over humanity began not with death, but with deception. He did not wield a sword or unleash divine fury. He simply spoke, and with that, he changed the course of history forever. The vine of Samael, a forbidden gift. In the Apocalypse of Baruch, Samael is linked to another dark mystery, the planting of a vine. According to this account, Samael brought the forbidden vine from heaven and planted it in the Garden of Eden. This vine, some believe, was the source of the very fruit that condemned Adam and Eve. God, seeing what had been done, cursed Samael for his transgression, but this punishment did not strip him of his power. Instead, it made him something far worse, being fueled by divine wrath, yet still an agent of the very God who punished him. The vine itself became a symbol of human weakness. Wine, excess, indulgence had all stemmed from that one cursed plant. And with it, Samael ensured that his influence would be felt throughout the generations, as temptation and destruction became woven into the very fabric of human existence. The left hand of God, a necessary evil, despite his terrifying reputation. Samael is not a rogue entity. He is called the left hand of God because his role is one of balance. If God is mercy, Samael is judgment. If God is creation, Samael is destruction. Without one, the other cannot exist. Yet, this balance raises an unsettling question. Is Samael truly an enemy of God, or is he simply the aspect of divinity that we fear to acknowledge? After all, what is death if not a necessary end? What is punishment if not a reflection of divine justice? In many ways, Samael is the shadow cast by the light of God. To deny him is to deny the truth that existence itself is both beautiful and cruel, just and merciless. Perhaps the reason Samael remains feared is not because he opposes God, but because he reveals the parts of God that humanity refuses to face. A journey into darkness. As we continue our exploration, we will uncover more about Samael's role in human history, his influence over great kings and prophets, and his eventual descent into something far more sinister. His story is not one of simple villainy, but of cosmic necessity. To understand him is to understand the forces that shape our reality, the forces of life and death, creation and destruction, faith and fear. Stay with us as we delve deeper into mysteries of the left hand of God, unraveling the truth behind one of the most enigmatic figures in all of religious history, the shadow that walks among kings. Throughout history, kings and emperors have claimed divine favor. They have sought the blessings of angels and feared the wrath of demons. But what if the most powerful rulers were never truly in control? What if, in the shadows of their thrones, a single celestial being whispered into their ears, guiding them, deceiving them, and leading them toward their ultimate fate? Samael is no ordinary angel. Unlike the divine messengers who bring words of hope, Samael's presence signals inevitable doom. He does not merely act upon the will of God. He embodies the forces of destruction, ensuring that no kingdom stands forever, no empire remains unchallenged. It is said that whenever a king grows too prideful, whenever a ruler dares to think himself beyond divine judgment, it is Samael who arrives to remind him of his mortality. The biblical King Saul, the first ruler of Israel, was a man chosen by God, but his fate was sealed the moment he allowed arrogance to cloud his judgment. Some legends suggest that it was Samael who whispered doubts into his mind, fueling his paranoia and leading him to disobey divine commands. His end was not merely political, but cosmic, a soul cast into despair, left to take his own life in disgrace. Was this an act of punishment or mercy? Perhaps both. The same pattern follows through history. Nebuchadnezzar, the mighty king of Babylon, fell into madness. Nero, the emperor of Rome, burned his own city in a fit of cruelty and delusion. Napoleon, the conqueror of Europe, was consumed by his own ambition and met his downfall in exile. Could these be mere coincidences? Or was there an unseen force, one that ensures the downfall of the mighty, reminding them that power is fleeting? The angel of death, a role beyond mercy. If there is one certainty in life, it is death. No matter how powerful, no matter how wise, every mortal must face their end. And when that moment arrives, it is said that it is not God who comes to collect the soul, but Samael. In rabbinic tradition, Samael is often depicted carrying a sword dripping with poison. This is no ordinary blade, it is the instrument of divine justice, a weapon that claims souls with a mere touch. Unlike other angels of death found in various religions, Samael does not grieve for the departed. He does not guide them gently into the afterlife. He simply does what must be done. But does this make him evil? Or does it make him the most loyal servant of all? After all, without death, there can be no renewal. Without an end, there can be no new beginning. In a way, Samael is not just an angel of death, He is an angel of transformation. He ensures that the cycle continues, that life does not stagnate. Yet, there are tales of Samael refusing to take a soul when commanded. Some texts describe him as arguing with God, questioning whether certain individuals truly deserve their fate. This suggests something remarkable. Even the angel of death himself possesses a sense of justice, one that is not purely mechanical, but deeply tied to the morality of the universe. The fall of great men, Samael's hand in human destiny. History does not remember men for their peaceful lives, it remembers them for their tragic ends. Alexander Great, a man who conquered the known world, died young under mysterious circumstances. Julius Caesar, the ruler of Rome, was betrayed and stabbed by those he trusted most. Adolf Hitler, a man who sought to impose his will upon the world, ended his life in a bunker, surrounded by ruin. Could it be that all these deaths were orchestrated, not by human hands alone, but by the unseen force of divine retribution? Some believe that Samael acts not just as a bringer of death, but as the ultimate enforcer of balance. No man can rise too high without facing the fall. No ruler can claim godhood without facing the consequences. And when the time comes, it is Samael who ensures that justice is served. But what happens when a man resists? There are stories dark, forbidden stories of those who have tried to cheat death, to strike a bargain with the angel of death himself. Some claim that Samael has been tricked before, that he has allowed certain individuals to escape their fate for a time. But in the end, he always returns. The debt must always be paid, a name that commands fear. Samael's name is not spoken lightly. Among the mystics and scholars, his presence is considered both a warning and a curse. In Kabbalistic teachings, he is often associated with the Clifford the dark forces that exist as the shadow of divine creation. To invoke his name is to call upon chaos, to open a door that should never be opened. Yet, there are those who seek him out, necromancers, warlocks, those who desire forbidden knowledge. They whisper his name in the dead of night, hoping for a glimpse of his power. But what they fail to understand is that Samael is not a being to be controlled. He is not a demon that can be bargained with, nor an angel that can be swayed by prayers. He is a force beyond human comprehension, one that operates on a scale beyond mortal desires. And so the cycle continues. Kings rise and fall. Empires are built and destroyed. Men seek power only to be undone by their own ambition. And through it all, Samael watches, his role unchanged, his purpose eternal. The road to the abyss. In the next part of our journey, we will explore Samael's connection to the fallen, those who have dared to challenge divine order, only to be cast down into darkness. We will examine his ties to Lucifer, to the Nephilim, and to the great rebellions that have shaped the fate of both heaven and earth. For now, we'll leave you with a question. Is Samael a villain, or is he merely the necessary balance to a universe that demands both creation and destruction? Is he the enemy of God, or his most devoted servant? The answers may not be what you expect. The fallen and the forgotten. For those who fall from grace, the descent is swift and merciless. History is littered with the names of those who sought to challenge divine order, only to be cast into the abyss. Yet, among all the exiled and condemned, there is one who stands apart, not merely a rebel, but a force beyond reckoning. Samael, unlike Lucifer, whose pride led to open rebellion, Samael's role is far more enigmatic. He was never a leader of the fallen, never a commander of the damned. Yet His presence lingers among them, his shadow stretching deep into the underworld. Some believe that Samael walks the boundary between heaven and hell, neither fully accepted nor wholly rejected. He is a wanderer in the void, an entity with one foot in light and the other in darkness. It is said that when Lucifer fell, Samael was there not as an ally, but as a witness. Some accounts claim that Samael was the one who severed the last of Lucifer's ties to heaven, ensuring his exile was absolute. Others whisper that he delivered a final message from God, a declaration that no fallen angel would ever reclaim the heights they once knew. But what if his role was something more? What if Samael, rather than being a mere executioner, was instead the architect of Lucifer's fate? After all, he has always been an agent of divine will, ensuring that what must happen, happens. Could it be that Lucifer's fall was not an act of rebellion, but an inevitability, a script written long before time itself? The Nephilim and the corruption of the earth. There's an ancient legend, one buried within the depths of forbidden scriptures, that speaks of the Watchers, angels who descended upon the earth and took mortal women as their wives. From these unions came the Nephilim, beings of immense power and unholy origin. Their existence was an affront to divine law, a corruption to balance that heaven sought to maintain. And when the time came for their reckoning, it was Samael who stood at the heart of their destruction. Some texts suggest that Samael did not merely act as an executioner, but as a manipulator, whispering into the ears of the Watchers, leading them toward their fateful decision. He did not force them to act. He did not need to. He understood the weakness of all beings, celestial and mortal alike. He knew that temptation was a far greater weapon than force. When the flood came, washing away the Nephilim and the taint they had spread upon the earth, Samael did not weep for them. He did not mourn the loss of those who had defied divine order. To him, this was a natural course of events, another necessary correction in the grand design. And yet, some claim that not all the Nephilim were destroyed, that some survived, lurking in the shadows of history, their lineage hidden from the eyes of the divine. If this is true, then perhaps Samael's work is not yet finished. The eternal enforcer among all celestial beings, none embody the paradox of justice and destruction as Samael does. He is neither hero nor villain. He is not driven by love, nor by hatred. He simply is. There are account stories passed through the centuries that claim Samael has appeared throughout history, guiding the hands of those who shaped the world. Some believe that he was present during the great wars of antiquity, his influence felt in the rise and fall of empires. Others say that he moves unseen in the modern age, ensuring that those who defy the natural order meet their destined end. But does this make him cruel? Or is he simply the last force of balance in a world that constantly seeks to tip toward chaos? If Samael did not exist, one might argue that the world itself would collapse, that without the weight at his hand, justice would falter and the cycle of renewal would cease. Perhaps this is why he remains, why he has never truly fallen, nor truly risen. He is a guardian of equilibrium, a necessary darkness in contrast to the blinding light of heaven. Yet, there is one final question to consider. If Samael enforces divine will, then does he himself have free will? Or is he as bound to his fate as those he judges? A puppet of destiny, forever carrying out a role he never chose? The veil between light and shadow. As we draw closer to the heart of Samael's mystery, we must turn our gaze to the final chapter of his story, to the ultimate question of whether he is truly a servant of God or something far more dangerous? In the final part of this series, we will explore the hidden truths that lie beyond heaven and hell. We will seek the answer to the one question that has haunted mankind for centuries. Is Samael the last guardian of divine order, or the harbinger of its end, the architect of fate? There is an unsettling truth hidden within the fabric of creation, one that few dare to acknowledge. The universe does not simply unfold. It is shaped. Events do not merely occur. They are set into motion by unseen hands. And among these hands, none are more feared, more enigmatic than those of Samael. If Lucifer's rebellion was inevitable, was it truly an act of defiance? Or was it, like so many other events in cosmic history, part of a grander plan? There are whispers in the darkest corners of forbidden texts suggesting that Samael's role was not just that of an executioner, but of a silent architect. Perhaps he did not simply punish the fallen, but ensured their fall in the first place. It is a notion that rattles the foundations of theological certainty. What if evil itself is necessary? What if, without darkness, the light could not truly shine? If Samael understands this, then he is more than a servant of divine will. He is its enforcer, its manipulator, its master, the whisper in the void. Throughout history, mortals have claimed to hear voices in the darkness, whispers that guide them toward their fate, sometimes toward salvation, more often toward ruin. Many of these voices have been attributed to demons, to spirits of the abyss. But some believe that among them, there is another voice, one that neither tempts nor deceives, but instead reveals. Samael's voice. It is said that those who hear it are forever changed. He does not offer promises of paradise, nor threats of damnation. Instead, he speaks only of truth cold, undeniable, and merciless. To hear Samael is to confront one's own insignificance, to realize that free will itself may be nothing more than an illusion crafted by forces far beyond mortal comprehension. What if, in the end, we are not the ones shaping our destinies? What if every choice we make is simply the fulfillment of a path already laid before us? And if that is the case, then what does it mean to defy fate? Perhaps Samael alone knows the answer. The shadow in the throne room. Even the highest celestial beings, those who stand within the light of God's presence, are not immune to doubt. The throne of heaven has always been a place of absolute order. Yet in the shadowed corners of its halls, questions remain unspoken. Could it be that Samael walks these halls even now, unseen by those who believe themselves to be righteous? That he moves like a specter, watching, ensuring that the divine plan remains intact? There are stories once hidden from the eyes of the faithful that tell of a confrontation between Samael and Michael, the warrior of heaven, a moment where the enforcer and protector stood face to face, neither raising a weapon, for both knew that conflict between them would serve no purpose. What words were exchanged in that moment? Did Michael question Samael's allegiance? Did he ask whether he was still a servant of the Almighty or something else entirely? And if he did, what answer was given? Perhaps it is a question that is no answer. Or perhaps the truth is too dangerous to be known. The final judgment. There is an end to all things. Even for celestial beings, time is not infinite. The universe moves toward an inevitable reckoning, a moment where all things will be weighed and judged. And when that time comes, what role will Samael play? Will he stand as the executioner of the final judgment, carrying out the last decree of God? Or will he step beyond his ordained purpose, revealing that his hand has guided the course of history, not as a servant, but as something far greater? Does Samael await the end, or does he intend to shape it? One thing is certain: whatever his purpose, whatever his true allegiance, his hand will be the one to cast the final stone. The last secret. The story of Samael does not end here. For to understand him fully is to understand the nature of creation itself. Light and darkness, justice and destruction, free will and fate, these are not opposing forces, but reflections of the same truth, a truth that Samael alone may hold. And so, we are left with one final question. Is Samael truly the left hand of God, or has he become something else entirely? If this story has intrigued you, if it has made you question the nature of fate and free will, then let us continue exploring these mysteries together, like this video. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Samael's true nature, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden truths of mythology and religion. Your engagement helps keep these discussions alive, and I can't wait to hear your insights.